It's time for Mask Off. Indeed. Yes, indeed. It's time for Mask Off. We're talking about financial situations that are scary. We're going to reveal them. There is no trick. This is all treat tonight. Yes. Thank you for sharing your night with me, Mr. Smith and Ethel and Miss Kaya, Miss Hargrove, and Barbara and Maurice and Monica and Miss Hill and the Clintons and the Williams. Thank you. When I look over there, I have to look over there to see your name. That's to say to everybody who logged in on the webinar, thank you for being early. And then by the end, I won't even have enough time to list everybody, which is a blessing. I'm not mad at you for being late. And then we also, I share it on one of the social media pages, which name I cannot mention because whenever I say their name in the recording, their algorithm clears it out and it won't allow me to promote the video. Amazing. Hello, Mike Rob. How are you? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your evening with me. I know that baseball is on, y'all, so I'm not going to be long. Those of you who are like Mr. Robinson that love sports, where I am going to make sure that we move forward, get our empowerment, and then enjoy your evening. I appreciate you. Here we go. I record this for our YouTube channel. It's AfroEconomics Live, and I'm JB Bryan, the President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, the home of AfroEconomics. And I am excited about this topic. I'm not one to dress up for Halloween, but if I did, for tonight, it would be something extremely scary. I'm calling this Mask Off, and let's attack some of these scary financial situations. One year, I did a live stream, and I was like dark, like on the floor somewhere, and I don't know why I thought about that. It was just like randomly, I was like, this is scary financial situations, and I turned off the lights, and I just did it like just out of nowhere. But tonight is more organized because I actually have some tips that I have thought about. Like last time I did this, it was just off the cuff like this. There are some obvious things, but tonight I want to talk about like these scary themes to go with how I see this. Like I was like, how you have just different themes for scary financial situations. So when I think of Hell's Kitchen, how does that relate to me when I thought about just a scary theme? So I have about 10 scary themes and how they relate to your financial life. Now we know Hell's Kitchen in New York, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm literally saying, what would Hell's Kitchen be like? And do you feel like you are in Hell's Kitchen financially? And if you do, this is what I want you to be thinking about so that life can get better for you. This is because the first step is we have to really accept that I feel like I'm in Hell's Kitchen. An overall feeling that you are just lost financially. You feel overwhelmed and you feel like everything is just heating up around you. Well, it's time to get help. It's time to talk to your financial advisor. It's time to take advantage of at least the complimentary free, no excuse membership of AfroEconomics so that you can participate in all of our discussion. And then also talk to anyone that you owe. When you're in Hell's Kitchen, you got to get yourself in an environment where your confidence starts being pulled up and the heat lets up, right? So that you feel your confidence comes up so that if you're getting phone calls or you owe anybody, that you get your confidence up that I can communicate with them and you can begin to work your way out. because you can get so heated in Hell's Kitchen, so low, so scary, so messed up that you don't have the confidence to even start working your way out. But that's what you have to do. A second scary theme is have you seen those movies where there's like this mad scientist or something that's like making these potions down in the basement? Well, I equate that to that person who has always working on something, but what they're working on never works out. They always got this like magic thing, this great new idea, but they end up with just too many bad ideas while they're overlooking that which is right in front of them with a proven track record that this could work for you. You know, the person who doesn't put anything into their retirement account, just say it's at work. You know, just say they're a custodian. They work for the county. The county has this retirement plan that they can put money away to, but they're mad because they say, well, I'm not putting any money in there because I got this great idea that somebody told me about when I went to this hotel on the corner and they were telling me about it, or I went to this meeting that they had at the church after hours on Thursday night when they were talking to these people that were written out the room, and they were telling me about, look, get out the cellar. Get out the cellar and learn to take advantage of everything that is readily and clearly available to you. No excuses. Another scary financial theme, I think of it as the graveyard or tomb, bad credit. You're just dead when it comes to credit, right? You need to check your credit report and start working on getting rid of that which is dead. The dead weight that you've been carrying around, the stuff that you're just afraid to just face up to. You know, it's a tomb. Do you have any just dead stuff in your life? You got to address that. I mean, dead financial things in your life. Anything else that's dead in your life, you need to address that too. But tonight we're just going to try to focus on dead financial stuff. But dead things in your life typically lead to dead financial situations. What about the theme of a financial insane asylum? Acting like you have lost your mind and you just don't even pay anything. Like you won't pay your debts. You won't pay your taxes. When I think of the insane asylum, I think about taxes. Because like you could just be in Hell's Kitchen and not pay your bills. But in the insane asylum, you must have lost your mind if you think that you're going to ever get away with not paying taxes or not paying the federal school loans back. Like, really? They are going to get you. It's going to get it. It's connected to you. You will have to, you can't even really leave the country because you're in the United States of America. So they are the world's strongest governmental power. Like you even have other governments who are trying to, I saw on the news where they're trying to get back people that came over here that got educated by foreign governments. So you know that the United States is not going to let you get away with not paying back the debts that you owe to them. You know, so you must be that, we're going to call that insane. Yo, look, Ms. Hayes said school loans, right? Insanity. they will. Like you have to, you know, really address these financial situations. That's why we do this. That's why we do this on we share this time, especially on our members only on Friday mornings. It's taking that extra step to say, I want to make sure that I keep my financial goals in my mind, right? What about a murder scene? If you're talking about a financial situation, that's like a murder scene. Allowing your past habits to kill your future. That's a murder scene to me. You're like, how'd she come up with this stuff? God, right? Your habits are killing your dreams. Gambling, the lottery, credit card debt, even unnecessarily large car payments can stop you from reaching your financial goals. That's the murder scene. What about the financial situation of being in prison or in a dungeon, or you're caged up, right? I'm locked up. That's co-signing. Co-signing on bills for others, even if it's family members, you are stuck in the dungeon of that debt. That is a scary financial situation. And I have seen some really bad things happen to some really good people who co-signed on some debts with some people they thought were cool. Be careful to avoid the prison. The nuclear disaster financial zone is when you are in a relationship and you don't communicate about your financial challenges or financial goals, or your financial thoughts, your financial aspirations, your how you're going to how important financial independence is to you. You're in a disaster zone. That is a financial nuclear disaster zone. If your spouse and you cannot communicate about your finances, that's going to be messed up. And most likely it already is. And that's why I believe that in the AfroEconomics family membership, I think I even say it in the description, that the family that plans together stays together. You got to be able to talk about it. And sometimes it helps to be able to have your advisor involved in this so that you're not like, see, I told you, but just like, well, if you can find an advisor that works along with you and your family goals. I love like having family meetings, even if you can have 2 or 3 generations in on the meeting. That's what we want. You may want to check out my video on that, on setting up your family financial statements, your legacy plan, generational wealth. All of those are in the library. And then evil scientist laboratory theme. Think about it. Evil scientist lab, much like the basement. What was my other one? We're gonna do, but I'm gonna tell you. Oh, the potions in the cellar. But this one is an evil scientist. It's involving another person too. These secret ideas and bad investments that are sold by unlicensed and unregulated random people, telling you to give them their money, and too many times you do it and you don't know them, and they're in the lab and they're telling you that they have this great idea and you don't even know anything about it, how you'll get your money back. Every time you go to one of those meetings and they talk about it with these great big group of people, you still don't understand what they're talking about. You still haven't had the chance to talk to them individually to see, what do I do? How are they regulated? What if I need to sue you? What do I do if I need to get my money back? What's going to be the fees? I need all of that in writing. You would be amazed at how many things I bust up when you bring that information to your members meeting and we look at the details. It just happened earlier this week where someone was telling one of our members to get out of their work health insurance plan because they had this better plan for them and they were going to save them half of their insurance premium. And then I said, well, I need to see the details. And, the member really was like uncomfortable with me not trusting that it was a good idea for her to do that. But I stood by my word, and I have to do that for you. And, sometimes I wish that I didn't have to, but I'm the one who's not going to let you go down into that basement and get your head chopped off. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one. You ever watch the movie and they're looking like maybe they shouldn't go into there, and then they let them go anyway. I'm not going to let you go anyway. Lord knows, not if I can do anything to stop it, but you got to allow me to do it. So I kept asking these questions, and she had to call the people, and she had to get this PDF. But I just thank God for taking the time to do it, because she was about to buy some complete crap. And I was telling her, I said, we don't want that Denzel Washington situation. So we got to be careful who these evil scientists are that are working in the lab trying to come between you and your money. They're telling you, this is so great. This is this great idea. Oh, wow, I'm so much better than this. I mean, they were telling her like there was no out of pocket and no deductible and this and that. And then when I started showing her the details of how much more money she possibly could be spending because of what they didn't cover and all of these things that were covered in her work plan were not covered in those, she said, whoa, 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 whoa. And then, so definitely be careful who's in the lab. See all of your options. Make sure that you choose the right things through doing the right research. What about financial graveyard? Graveyard. It is a costly mistake to not take care of your health. Make sure you have good insurance and be careful not to buy like any insurances that are not necessary, but be careful again about the wording and everything, but just make sure that you protect yourself from not having to go to having let's just say unnecessarily early death because of things that you could have changed today that would make your years more pleasant. Because there are a lot of people who are alive, but they're in the graveyard. So you don't want to have to spend all of your life savings on living uncomfortably. When you think about your 80s, we have to develop a vision of how we want our 80s to be, how we want our 90s to be. Like we can die at an old age, but still be young. You say, hey, there's some sign in my gym that says, die young at an old age. Right? So be conscious of the graveyard and think about how you want to make sure you keep yourself healthy and create the life that you deserve. Another scary financial theme is deserted orphanage. This is scary. I hope I'm scaring y'all. I hope I'm scaring y'all. Like, just think about an orphanage. Sage, you with me, huh? Thank you. She said, don't. That's right. I'm not going to let you hide behind no chainsaws. I'm sure not. Oh, yes, indeed. A family that plans together stays together. Let's plan together and stands together. That's right. Yes, indeed. I'm going to go back. I when I look at my notes, I don't get to look at your comments. Thank you so much. Yes, indeed. So the orphanage, financial orphanage, I can even bring that close to home. I got to say it. If you have minor children, make sure that you have a will in place. No excuses. If you want to know who is going to take care of your children, then you need to make sure that when they're too young to take care of themselves, if they're not 18, you need to have instructions in your will on how they're going to be taken care of. You can control this. So make sure when you think of that terrible theme of my children being in an orphanage, make sure that that's not yours. Make sure you have it in writing. You also don't want people arguing about who's going to take care of your children if something happened to you. Make sure you say exactly what you want. And then, think about this. A ritual of human sacrifice. That's supposed to scare you. That's scary. That's nasty. That I equate that to school loans that must be paid, right? A huge mistake that most people are making is not considering what a school loan will cost them upon graduation when they get into it. So if you have children that have or are getting school loans each year, make sure you call the companies and say, what would the payment be if this is what they have right now? Or before you get the loan, find out what would this payment be in 4 years down the road. If they won't tell you, call me and we'll figure it out. But find out it's a big mistake. Tonight, you're making a human sacrifice. look, in a scary way of putting it, you are doing a financial suicide by just getting those, loans blind like that. You riding dirty. Don't do it. Don't do it. We need to know what we're getting into in any loan. You can have like an adjustable rate mortgage, same thing, human sacrifice. You know that you don't know your worst case scenario, then you're in the wrong situation. And that's why a lot of people lost their homes and ended up going into foreclosure and everything and ruining their credit, still trying to recover from getting adjustable rate mortgages and not understanding the worst case scenario. Think of this financial theme, scary financial theme, a zoo for people locked up in cages, chained down, in a mental cage and not believing in yourself, in a zoo of people. You just in there, like you feel, the things that I hear people talk about when they hate their work, it's like they're just locked in these, they look like death, but they're really in cages mentally. But even though you are stronger than the chains that hold you, you never run away and you stay in the cage and you stay locked up and you stay stuck. I don't know if I've ever told y'all about like the situation where like there's these fish and they're in a tub and the food is at the end of the tub and the fish are at one end of the tub and the food is put at the other end. So the fish float down and the glass and they hit the glass and they come back. And the fish roll down and they hit a glass because a glass has been put in between the fish and the food. And then the fish go down and boom, and they keep hitting their heads to try to get to the food. They're trying to figure out, they can't figure it out. So then they pull the glass up and the fish starve to death and die because they never try again. They had hit the point of frustration. They never tried again. And that is a zoo for people. You have got in the cage, been chained down, and even though you can break it, even though you can get loose, even though you can make a change, you won't do it. That is a scary financial situation. I challenge you to update your resume, make the calls that you need, start the business that you need, call in the favors that you need, get your adult children out of your pocket if that's what you need to do, but don't be in a cage when you don't have to be. You're stronger. You can break that chain. And what about a giant spider web? A financial giant spider web. Not having a financial plan, not having a budget, not having a strategy for financial independence. That's a giant spider web. Nasty. You got to break your way out of it. You got to break your way. You got to break out of the web. You got to get through it. It's nasty, but you have to make some goals. You have to have that financial plan. You have to have a budget. You have to have a strategy for financial independence. You have to attack the debt. You have to attack the taxes. You have to say, I do not want my income to be stagnant anymore. And you have to be determined not to be stuck in that same place. The only way to change is to break the web that you're stuck in. If not, everything will be the same and the web will continue to grow. You got to do something different to break the to break the chains, to break the web, to create a sunshiny financial system for yourself, right? To get out of these scary financial situations. Brandy said, preach, grown children out of our pockets. Yes, indeed. S&E. I see y'all logged in. So but this is a different, like when I post this on YouTube, you'll go back and you'll listen to this because these are some scary financial situations. And I'm just trying to play it on this theme of Halloween and some gross stuff, but our money does get ugly like that. You know, as think about if you're committing financial suicide when you go and make certain purchases. Let's be conscious, not unconscious. Let's be aware of the worst case scenarios that when we walk into things, when you put your name on that dotted line. I think that we don't take things serious enough. And because of the large amount of stress that many of us are under, it encourages us, the stress allows us or gives us a scapegoat for not being as particular as we should be about things. And I think that as we become more aware, everything will change for our life. And an interesting thing that last night I was celebrating a client's birthday, and like 6 of us girls went out, and we were having a good time. And the waiter said, "So where are you from?" And it was a young white male, and I was like, "I don't know. Where do you want me to be from? You want me to be from somewhere elaborate or something like that? I'll be from wherever you're from, because whenever I say I'm from North Carolina, nobody ever thinks that I'm from North Carolina. But I was born in North Carolina." So he said, "Oh no, I was just wondering, because you don't feel like you're from here," which I was in Virginia. "You don't feel like you don't act like you're from here because you're so calm." Now, to me, that was like one of the biggest compliments that anyone could give me, because I know that I have been in such scary situations in my life that I wouldn't even describe myself as calm. But when I think about myself and the commitment that I've made to being healthy, and that's why I push that 10th principle of AfroEconomics, that Black health, Black wealth, we have to keep ourselves healthy, making those proper choices, getting that good rest so that our finances aren't scary. I know that when I'm in a healthy, sound state and it becomes obvious to a random stranger, I'm making smarter financial decisions. And we have to make a commitment to that, to knowing that each of the components of Afroeconomics, from that first one of legacy to that last one about protecting your health and entrepreneurship in the middle, and integrity and God as its core. We know this, y'all, that it will stop us from being so afraid and going through these frightening financial situations. Because too many people are staying in toxic relationships or staying in toxic jobs, in toxic situations because of money. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. You are supposed to be financially free to do whatever you need to do to make the contribution to this planet that God put you here to do. And that's my challenge, to make sure that I help you do that. So if you need me, don't hesitate. Email me at jb@afroeconomics.com. Take advantage of the individual, family, or entrepreneur, or even the free membership. Get financial empowered. If you have a friend that is in a scary financial situation, get them to listen to this discussion tonight. If you are in something that you haven't talked to me about, make sure that you do that. We're going to work on making that better. We're going to work on making that better. As these holidays approach, make sure you stay of sound mind, stay healthy, avoid the sugars, right, Miss Davis? She's an RN. She will agree. And a fitness queen, yes, she is. She will tell you we need to avoid those sugars, keep ourselves healthy during these holidays so that we can stay of sound mind and not get emotional when you go in there shopping. Let's set up a budget. Let's do the right things. Keep it safe and keep it sound. You deserve that. Thank you. You know where I am. jb@jbbryan.com, 1-844-JB-Bryan. I am just a call away.